Nice to have you with us. So, if you don't mind, can you please tell us a bit about your question you're reading?
Yes, I would like to know a bit about my spiritual growth. And my first question would be, what should I be focusing on spiritually wise? Like, where should my focus be in my abilities? What should I be focusing on? And where can you see my strengths and where can you see my weaknesses? Like, what's more, where am I more gifted? Let's say it that way.
All right. Okay. I think the question is clear. There's no more questions. And I would advise in this reading that Pericles and High Priestess go first, and then me or Terry go in, if that's okay for you, Terry. Yeah? Okay. Okay. Let's go for it.
So I can go ahead and begin if that's okay. Let's see. So, your spiritual journey. There, you had asked about strengths and weaknesses. So the weaknesses came through as a reversed of the Three of Swords. With this deck, there is the word sorrow. So where I'm seeing is that there is a cautioning against wearing ignorance like a badge of honor. So what that means is that choosing to willfully close yourself off to learning is nothing to be proud of, nor is the choice to speak from an uneducated perspective. Now, that sounds very harsh, so let me make this more clear. You, so these are not qualities that are of you, what I have just mentioned whatsoever. Yet you seem to be very hesitant in doing something that should be so natural, which is literally stepping into and fully embodying yourself. What I'm seeing is that the spiritual journey is really just beginning, like the real, the depth, the part where you and the universe come together as.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Hey, so in regards to where to seek in terms of your spirituality, I think you've done a lot of good work on yourself. Where you come out of a very, it seems that there was some difficult situation that you recently came out of, something that was holding you back emotionally, like some blockers that you overcame, and it's opened you up to a point where you're ready to come and find the balance and find peace within balance the two energies within the polarities, the masculine and the feminine. And as you do that, you'll be drawn very much to seek out a new group of friends, if that makes sense. So you'll be drawn more to spiritual people who will be who, as you're spending more time with them, you'll be guided to open up to further opportunities. As so, in regards to your gift, I saw that you have a very creative power. You're very creative, and at the same time, you have a lot of masculine and feminine energy, and the two polarities are within you are both very intense, and that allows you to have a lot of openness towards spirit, so to say. And as this happens, the world will sort of start merge in with what you have inside, and more situations and opportunities where you'll be able to further open up to your soul's purpose will come to you, especially through friends. I'm seeing a lot, especially through a group of common people, mentors, mentors and like-minded individuals. Yeah, that's for now.
Terry, would you like to go ahead? Me? You? Wasn't even done. Okay. Hello.
Hello.
So I work with the deck. I usually don't work because it's a bit more controversial. But it's interesting what came out on the last. I'm just looking on the last one. That's a bit. Okay. So we have, in terms of abilities, what you will fall. The cards clearly tell me it's the element water and air, what you should look out for, which are your strong elements here. That's what the cards tell me. I see even alchemy, which is surprising. But in the self-healing, in the self-transformation, we kind of talk about energy alchemy. So everything what's etheric work is alchemy necessarily. But I can go with what Highest Priestess said as well, that you just at the very beginning of this journey, and that is the main bridging card I had for this. It's we are at the moment where we lay the foundation. Okay, we cannot like start and skyrocket this before the foundation is strong. What you can tap back into. Because what I'm seeing is that a lot of things will change, not necessarily in your normal career. Okay, there's definitely the gathering of people, the examination of people, all of these aspects come up again. So it's a bit of a seeding out process as well for you. I think what you got so far in your life, all the talents you gathered, and all of them will be required to put you on the track. As I said, I see rather a double way going. Okay, so a bit like Batman and Bruce Wayne kind of thing. So there will be the daytime job and the nighttime job, whereby the nighttime will maybe start as a hobby, but it seems it will become a long term more of a mission for you. To bring in spiritual quality on a certain level in a certain project. I'm not saying that goes quick or there's any timelines for this, but I see definitely that part of yours being reactivated. It's see what I'm also seeing, and that's it's there's a bit of a seeding out process what will happen in your life, and that's the part I would like to warn you of. Sometimes if we go new paths and the old surroundings, the old entourage and friends ain't going with you, some of them would stay behind, and that is I think the start of this process is where you are at also. Okay, that is not related to people you are working with in career necessarily, but that is more the people you would love or you like to meet outside of your career. So that's why I call it trans, definitely. So that is the other thing I'm definitely seeing. The mission part is a very confusing part, and since Terry didn't want to jump in earlier, she just left me here, and I have to look it up now because it's I mean, I can show you the card, but I don't think you will appreciate my cards. You're in the Fourth Palace.
Yeah, and maybe I can add while you search something that I picked up while you were speaking. That she has a lot of the magician energy. So she has a lot of the the magician is like I got also the Queen of Fire, the Queen of Air. So it's basically like a lot of like alchemy, but a lot of like creative force, which is inside of you. And as you spend more time in new circles of people and maybe spirituality like, you'll be able to push that out and bring it out to the world. Yeah, you can take it back, Philip.
Okay. Yeah. I see a bit of a judging role that you will have in the future. That means you won't judge, but you kind of make sure, or will make sure that whatever opposing forces fight will not go over the rules, kind of a thing. I'm not sure how to explain it, but it seems definitely that you are a watcher, a keeper to keep things in a certain parameters, from what I'm perceiving here on a spiritual level. It's a very rare role. That's why I cannot really assert it. You know, if I just tell you you become a clairvoyant or an energy healer, that's pretty uh yeah, what most want to hear, but this is not what you are. It seems like your diplomatic role in a certain way is will be required. So it's about the balancing thing. I mean, yeah, the card isn't looking very friendly, but that's pretty much the card. So you have monsters fighting, and you can play the referee. No, I'm just being sarcastic, but there's definitely some element to this in your spiritual path. It's to control the outskirts, the border of this whole events in a certain way, that there's still a certain level of fairness, if you can call it like that, in this game. So it's a very interesting role you have there. Yeah. I let the others take over, and but I think we can go deeper into all of it together. So, Terry is ready now. I know it.
All right, so what I picked up is that you are on the right path regarding your spiritual journey, okay? But you need to be, don't be hard on yourself, okay? You need to take it. There's a lot of sense of humor, lightheartedness, playfulness that's coming through that you need to, because it feels like like what Pericles said, that you've come out of a difficult situation. Now you're entering this light-hearted, almost childlike environment, that you're taking things in a very childlike manner. Okay, and that's a good thing. Things are peaceful. You need to approach the situation as you're going along in that way. As you're being guided as well from a past loved one. From what I remember, it was your grandfather. Okay, all right, and he's busy watching over you through this journey. There's some elements of children here. I'm not sure if there's children involved in your life, but it's that innocence, that playfulness that allows you to go into this journey, and that's the sense of humor that comes out. You just need to take time making decisions, and you need to trust your intuition as well, as you do have the abilities, okay, in terms of healing. Okay, everyone's got their own healing abilities. Doesn't necessarily mean that they are psychic. Everyone, a friend to talk to, people talking to you, is your way of helping others. It's the same thing. Okay, you dreaming is also your way of your spiritual journey, of you connecting to the universe. Okay, you are a leader. You can head any task. You are strong. Okay, eating more healthily is also providing you this foundation, and it's peaceful. You just need to take a deeper look of what you are busy with. Okay, but there are big happy changes. You do need to believe in yourself. Get more information. Look deeper into it. The main messages that came up as well were the awakening, looking through things from a different perspective, spiritual growth, the world card came up, which is achievement, as well as the chariot card as well, which is a spiritual journey as well, and it's victory. So you will be victorious as well. regarding the spiritual journey. As long as you're busy, and there's big happy changes obviously, as long as you're taking it from a innocent point of view, childlike, don't do it from a serious route. You need to enjoy it, because spiritual growth can be quite hectic as well. It can be quite daunting. So that's what my advice is.
Okay, so yes, I also would, which was in this deck the universe, but the world and also the chariot had come up here, and so these things were echoing, as the Guardian had mentioned, a bigger work, which is why I'm glad that I can expand further into what really I was like. Is this really what I'm saying? It sounds so harsh. Keep talking. Okay, so there is such a potent power that you have to be able to step into that there is an almost been a willful not neglect, but a willful like, okay, it's there, but I'm not gonna look at it. It's okay, it's there, so it's fine. I'll get to it when I can. It's still there, so it's fine. We're gonna go, but it's there, so it's so it's no longer something that you can bypass, neglect, because you are into this beginning. And what I want to, what has come in with two different decks, the same card, and the Seven of Water, which is really beautiful, is reminding you that that which does not bend will eventually break. So as EternalFlame had mentioned, being childlike and all of this is really very, very important, staying flexible. Because as Guardian said, you are water. Is this why you said she's far more of a water element, Guardian?
I said water and air.
Water and air, okay, because I remember hearing the water, and so I wanted to remind you that it is better to achieve your goals by being fluid. Water can find any crack, any opening, and use it to its advantage. If contained, it becomes still and peaceful, calm and waiting, receptive. Yes, external forces can make waves and ripples, but when the force is removed, stillness and calm are quickly restored. Letting the water go from the container, releasing from its container, and it will follow its path of least resistance, flowing around, over, or underneath any obstacle in its path, and overcoming with natural ease and grace. If circumstances have made you harder and made you don a protective shell, it's time to allow the river of life to wash your emotional armor away. A gentle, more flowing outlook will serve you better. Soften your stance. Let go of your feeling of resistance. Be open to potentialities and be peaceful. Be like water and flow. And it's not anything that I'm seeing that this needs to go into in anywhere outside of you except simply you. And where is it flowing into? It is flowing into... Hello. Hello, everybody. It's flowing into the embodiment of all that is you. It's being open to the possibility that how is it, science fiction becomes more of a science truth, that perhaps the reality of you goes far beyond what anybody would ever actually let you believe. So let your imagination then play, and why not explore where you can go beyond that. Let there be no doors, just there is no ceilings, there are no limits, because you have no belief or conditioning that is placed upon you. It is up to you, being the water, to dissolve all of that away, so that it's only you that is able to flow into it, and then you will continue to ebb and sway, and there your creativity and everything else that you are doing so gracefully. It's quite amazing where all of this will go, and the way that new opportunities are going to start showing up in your life. As Guardian has said, career doesn't change, though there is something else that definitely comes in, and it definitely complements your flow. So there we go.
Thanks, guys.
So I was just using the crystal ball. So I usually not work with cards. I just felt inclined this time to pull this card deck. But I looked in the crystal ball as well. So that was interesting. So usually the spiritual corner is pretty much here in my crystal ball, right? And hey, Laurence, welcome back. So what I saw from the spiritual corner is like you try to, let's say years ago in your life, you try to escape from that corner as quick as you could, right? That's the first image I'm getting. And all of a sudden there's like a wall popping up and you completely run against it and gets put completely back into the spiritual world. And I was like, I never saw this crack or this enclosure in my crystal. And I look again to find it back and look again at it. And the second time, what I'm seeing is that now it's interrupted. So, and the line what comes from you is definitely letting it through this time. Okay. So the second attempt to break this wall, but the wall, the direction it goes is from spirituality to career, which still confirms me that there is some future in career which is more spiritually related than it is now, definitely. And that's what I'm seeing as part of your mission, and that is pretty clear. But the timeline and the time frames are not set in stone in this case, okay? You have your own time to develop, there is no rush. You pretty much have all time what you have in this matter, definitely, in terms of your mission. I'm also seeing what I've shown here, that you will probably be strong enough to go through all of this. Obviously, it will be challenges and all of that, but I think that you have the guidance around you, what you need above and below. So I'm not worried for that part, but I would definitely go on with the changes you go at the moment, since it's going quick, it's going smooth, and yeah, I like what I'm seeing here in the crystal ball. That made more sense. I still don't quite understand what the judgment role is, but it's maybe picking certain people for certain projects, which is more the judgment than the spiritual battleground. Okay, so you know already that role. Anyways, it will just be the same role put into a different context, so to speak. Okay, so all what you did this life was a preparation probably for this, and knowing how to structure this, knowing how to organize it, network it, and all what comes with and out of that, obviously, and finding the people who place these people what you will select, or for the lack of a better word, judge who is best for that job. Okay, so that is what I'm getting here. It's part of your mission, but you are supposed to pick of the knowledge pretty much a bit of everything, because you are supposed to know these things in order to do your job later. Without this knowledge, you will not have the tools what you need to discern and take the right choices. Okay, so that's with the crystal ball and more clarity what I'm seeing for your spiritual path. And I think I stick with my crystal ball from now on. So, Laurence, did you get a chance to listen, or you want this question as well for what we had for was her spiritual path, her spiritual mission, what you see her wanting, needing to do in the future in spirituality? That was that one. Does anybody else have something to add? Pericles, you look like you have something to say, but you're afraid.
No, it's okay actually. It's good for now. I'll let Laurence go.
She just started. I wanted to give her a bit of time. You mean that?
No. I've taken the card. I need to pull again more cards.
See, now I put the pressure on you. Isn't that nice of me?
Wait, one came out. That's always funny when it happens. That's funny. It's the full card. It's the first card of the tarot, actually. I'll read it out. 1 second. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, so basically represents the beginning of a whole new journey. You know, like in tarot, in hermetic principles, the tarot is supposed to be seen as the 76 different paths that the soul goes through, and the Fool is the first one, so to say. You know, it's like when the soul is like happy and hungry, and there's a lot of good energy, and they're dreaming about the world, and we're excited and doing stuff. And it's beautiful, because eventually you'll transition into the Magician, which is the card that I pulled before, funny enough, which is the second one, which is a more experienced version of the Fool, perhaps, maybe more already a master in alchemy, so to say. Funny.
I had the Fool also right next to the one side was the Fool of the next to the universe, and the other side was the Ace of Cups. So lots of new beginnings.
Yeah.
Yes, I also don't agree completely with the interpretation of the one of the tarot being the Fool. It is actually the Magician who starts to recognize all the elements. I would put it far more as pure unconditional love, as in my deck.
It's the 0.
Really have.
Yeah, I got the 0. Sorry, not the 1. I had the 0.
The Magician is the 1. The Fool's the 0.
Yeah, I had the 0. The Fool.
Okay, it's still not the point. The card should never be called Fool. That is a dark interpretation of the card.
God in virtue.
Yeah, not necessarily. Also, Bright and Wade calls it that way. But the first tarot book is the initiation into the Hermetics. It's the opening of the knowledge of the elements, of the different kingdoms around you, understanding the grounding, the divine union principle, embracing the divine male, the divine female in you. And that has nothing to do with being a fool or being in the fool's place. It is the beginning place, as we said. It's the start of a journey, and that's not foolish. It's the spiritual innocence, I would call it, rather than the fool. The fool is so, disheartening, in my opinion. But that's just a different interpretation of the tarot. The meaning and the reading will be the same, nonetheless. So I'm not trying to tell you guys off. I'm just wanted to add that perspective as well. Laura, you look so ready now.
Sure. So what I have come up is that there's a bit of stagnation where you are right now, that you've come to a plane. You're happy where you are, but you wish that you could access a new plane of existence, but it is creating conflict in your life with your priorities. And kind of here what I can see is a lot of balance in in your priorities with your mind, most likely, not necessarily with your physical or anything that affects your physical being, but more in your mind and your spirit. There's a lot of conflict. There's the Ace of Sword that came up. So this one, I like to see it more as a seed of progress and not perfection, and to have patience. And then the Strength card is pointing towards that. So find a lot of strength in having patience. It's difficult sometimes to want to be somewhere, and it's not happening as fast as we want it, or the way that we want it, because we tend to get so caught up in our ego thinking that what we want is exactly what we need, and that's not necessarily the case always. And then I have the Hermit as well, with the Son of Pentacles. So all of this is, slow, steady. Take the time to really regenerate, refresh, be patient with yourself, be loving with yourself. Don't be too hard on your progress. That's the worst. Nothing will come out of you trying to achieve something faster than when it's supposed to happen. And then I have the Sun as well, matched with the Four of Cups, and with a card that is void of moon. So I see it more as like when we try so hard to achieve something, it can become a sunburn almost. The inversion of the sun, and a sunburn makes us really tired. And so I feel like there's a certain heaviness around you right now, that you're just tired. And it's the kind of tired that you can't just have an 8-hour sleep and, you know, drink an emergency and then go away and then just go for a run and feel better about it. It's a bone tired. You're emotionally drained because you're overthinking, analyzing so much of something that you don't have the answer to and that you don't need the answer to. And so there's a lot of stress and conflict in priorities, like I said. And so, you know, the 9 of Wands came up. To me, that card means that you've got this, that you can do it. You have all the tools you need. You are already such a strong being, and our mind is so much stronger than we could possibly ever know it is. And just trust yourself and trust yourself in that process. And yeah, literally trust yourself, trust in where you are, and know that where you are at right now is exactly where you're supposed to be. Bring love into your situation also comes up, and it's a time to give rather than take, which also kind of works with the 4 of Cup, in my opinion, because when we feel drained, when we feel tired, when we feel something is lacking, we tend to not give, and we tend to try and keep what we have, and you know, the reserves are kicking in and we're just keeping everything. But really, when it's the time for you to go ahead and give whatever you've learned from your past spiritual journeys, it's something that you can, you know, give to the world and use that and complete, you know, shine your light, and then that spiritual journey will come along with that. Because as you heal others, you heal yourself as well. So I think that seeing that lack isn't real is always a good one, because we tend to think that what we don't have, we try to get so much, when really we have so much more than what we don't have. That's what came up for me.
Thank you, Lord. So, conclusion is talk more to yourself, create several fictive characters in your head, and have a chat room in your head. That's what I hear out of this here.
And be nice to yourself in those conversations. Like Laurence said, be your own friend.
Yeah, you know, how would you talk to your friend? You would never talk to your friends the way you talk to yourself. So sometimes, like, I'll have a disagreement with my husband, and he'll say something, and I'll turn and I'll be like out loud, and I'll say, "No, you're not like that, Laurence. Don't worry about it." And he gets so mad when I do that. But I'm like, it's okay, you're good to go. It's him, he's projecting onto you. That's literally what I do. I say it loud, you know? I just remind myself that I'm actually really great. Because we tend to forget it.
You are great. You're very great.
Alyssa, you need to take Laurence's advice. That's the best way of going about it. Be your own comedic show. There you are. I love it. I love it.
Oh, great. Lovely. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Oh, the Guardian, you're muted.
Yeah.
I was just saying thank you very much for being with us, and obviously keep us up to date and the best on your spiritual and love path.
I will keep you guys up to date. I'll keep you up to date. Okay. Speak soon. Bye.
Bye.